Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the pre-market analysis and trade plan setup for Thursday, May the 29th, 2014. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder and head moderator for Quantum Leap. We are a self-organized learning environment. We have had a private Skype room, chat room for coming up on 5 years in September. Each morning we come together and I go through my daily pre-trading routine and set up my my levels for my charts and targets. We do go through a regular routine of looking at the macro numbers to the micro numbers, the macro trend to the micro trend before we get into more in-depth chart analysis and volume profile analysis. So if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, you might want to skip ahead a few minutes until we get into where I'm actually setting my levels up. But as traders, we have to have a pre-market routine and stick to that routine because we're preparing ourselves for trading, so we don't skip corners. If you want to find out more about Quantum Leap, you can send me a Skype request at Doug_McKay. I'll be the one from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, or you can send me an email to d.mckay@stealthtrader.com. All right, we're going to get going right away, but before I do that, I've got to get a disclaimer out of the way. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand their knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures, earning against pitfalls, or risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used with trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own plan, do your own due diligence. Okay, so getting right into it, let's just jump right into the numbers. We are in a bull year, 1837.75, our new high that was put in the Globex yesterday. Anytime you put in a new all-time high in a Globex session, look for that to be tested in the RTH. And it was my upper target yesterday. We only got as high as 1250. We just didn't have the volume in order to push through to that 14. So I am looking at that 14 to be tested today. At least today or tomorrow, depends on if we hold certain levels that I'll talk about. Our month open is 1879.50, so we are in a bullish month and a bullish year with our month high as our all-time high and our yearly high. Nothing really jumps out besides those numbers. I mean, we do have the month low at 54.50, but that right now is a little bit outside of our average true range. Going to the intraday numbers, yesterday in Globex we opened at 975, had that high at 14 and the low of 8.25, and then we opened auction in range at 9.25. And you can see that all our Globex numbers have been trending for the last 5 days up. Our main hypothesis for yesterday was a rotational day with looking for a neutral day and possibly a neutral extreme, and we ended up with a neutral day. We didn't get the run at the end of the day to take us away from the initial balance. But our main hypothesis, our number one hypothesis, played out pretty much to the T. Our opening swing high, 1050, opening swing low, 750 with a 3-point opening swing, looking for rotation out. Now remember, anytime that you get a neutral day, you have a good probability of seeing another neutral day or a neutral extreme. So those are one of the main hypotheses again for the day. Rotational day with an upside or a downside bias and a possible run into the close to create a neutral extreme. But we should see a rotational day today rather than vertical development because that is the probabilities. We trade probabilities, not our bias. You can see that our initial balance high and low has been trending up for quite a few days now. Our IV high 1150 yesterday, 5.25 to the low side for 6.25 point. These are returning back to normal initial balances. If you remember when we were back, a few weeks ago, we were getting all these really big IBs as they battled it out. But average width of the IB is between 6 and 9 points, and we're back into that normal range. Of course, you've got the anomaly here, which was the holiday. Our intraday numbers are trending up. We had a 1230 number at 1075, RTH high 1250, RTH low 450, and we had a RTH close at 950, almost right around where we closed the prior day, creating that doji-looking day. And then we had the VPOC shift up again to 907.75. Our 20-day ATRs, again, even though we're moving, our true range is coiling still. And we're now under 13 for 20-day RTH at 1284, just 1530 on the full session, and 770, just under 775 for the Globex session. So things are still coiling. I think we're going to have a big move even after we broke out of this balance. Our value area high was higher at 1075. Our value area low was 7 1/4. You can see we're trending up on our value areas as well. We broke the IB just outside of the first pocket at 947 central to the low side, and then later on went up and broke the 1150 to the upside. And then we had lighter than normal volume. You can see we got we've got people sitting on the sidelines right now. We're not getting any OTF participation, and this still leads me to believe that my hypotheses of this blow off top, where the large spec and the commercial have left the building, and they're leaving the the retail traders, the small spec, as bag holders. And we'll actually go over. Let's take a quick look at the COT report. So this is the COT report. This is the ES right here. The legends right here. The yellow is the small spec. The commercials is the light color, and then the large spec is the darker color. And you can see this is our zero line right here. And you've got, as of Friday, you basically had the commercial paper neutral, sitting right on the zero line, and then you had large spec as net negative and getting quite large net negative, and then you've got the retails still chasing this top and leaving them as bag holders. And I imagine next week we're going to see that this commercial paper is actually going to be net negative. That's what my opinion is. I don't know it for a fact, but it's likely with the volume that we're seeing that they've gone slightly net negative. Going over to the daily report, our high so far in the Globex 1912, low 1908. That's our full session high and low so far, even though it's the Globex. And as it stands right now, our full session 20-day ATR target to the upside is 1923 1/4, and our full session ATR target to the low side is 1896.75. We had news this morning. We had unemployment claims, got ourselves a little bit of a wiggle, but not a real big reaction. The big one next is going to be this pending home sales at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, with natural gas at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern, and then we've got crude inventory at 10 Central, 11. But be careful in that first half hour, because pending homes can be one that will move the market. So let's go to the macro to the micro, take a look at where we are within the trend. You can see this is a 9 EMA, this is a 20 SMA. Those are the two moving averages that I like to use. We've got good slope and separation on the 9 and 20. Price is paralleling the 9 very nicely, and we're trading near the all-time highs and above the last 2 months highs. So we are very much in a trend on the monthly. On the weekly, basically the same thing. We had this one week of weakness where we closed underneath the 9 and the 20. It was the first time that we did that this year. The last time we did it was back in August of last year. And after that, we next week we got it all back, and then since then we've held the 9 EMA, and we're getting slope and separation, and we're definitely have the trend intact as well. Got a little bit of a technical gap here, but nothing major on the weekly yet. Going down to the daily. Daily's a little bit different. We've got a very strong parabolic move right now. We've got a technical gap here. We've got a possibility setting up that today could be a Mr. Sneaky, so you get a tech gap with the Mr. Sneaky. Tech gaps are generally closed through consolidation and a move sideways as the 9 catches up, or through price where the price comes down and meets the 9. Most of the time it's a little bit of a combination of both, but you can see that there is a technical gap. But as overall, the daily trend is back intact, and we are trending up. But we've got a bit of parabolic move here, so that's why I think we're going to stall out and have a second neutral day. Probably try to test this 1914, but rotate down off of it, maybe a little push higher, but I am expecting rotation today. Just going over to the geometric chart. Now, I didn't get a chance to change the color on this, but I added this smaller upward sloping fork because we broke out of the downward sloping fork and we broke out of the intermediate center line of the upward sloping fork. So we've got this little bit of a move here. I changed the colors so we can see it better. There is an energy point. Come on. That I'm going to be watching right here. This is an energy point up here at 1955.50. So mark that down on your chart as a possible upward destination because we've got 3 forks now converging at that level. The center line of the longer term fork, the upper line of the intermediate upward sloping fork, and this new upward sloping fork within this parabolic move, all pointing towards. And that is scheduled to hit in around June 10th there. So I don't think this move is necessarily over. We do have this energy point here that's just been created, and it coincides with another energy point. Let me just put it on here. Right here at 1893.75, 1894 area, and that's saying June the 2nd. And then we also got this energy point here, which is basically in around the 30th, and I don't think this one's going to get hit, but this one's interesting and this one's interesting. Right now we're holding above the center line at 1911. 1910.75. It's actually 10.50 that I'm watching right now for a break below. If we come down and test the center line from above, that would take a move down to 1892 area. A test of this upper line, if we hold above the center line of this new fork that I just drew, it's up at 1932.75, and rate that 1932.75 down as well. So that's about the only information that I'm getting on this. Not a ton of information. So let's go check the trend intraday coming into this market. You can see that on the 4-hour that we've we closed that technical gap that we were talking about coming into the RTH session yesterday, and we've got good slope. We're losing a little bit of slope separation. You can see we just closed that gap going sideways with a little bit of sideways with price action to actually come down and test the 20. Didn't quite get there, but the trend itself is still intact until we get below this 1910 area, 1910.25. 1910. There's a CLBN at 1910.25, but the value area high from yesterday was 10.75, I believe. We'll get to that in a minute. The 30-minute you can see that the news on the unemployment, I didn't even have a chance to check to see if it was good or bad. Gave us a little bit of a wiggle and a move back up. We do have a naked cross being created right here at 1910.50. See how this number keeps coming up? But we do have a bit of a technical gap coming up here, so that that 10.50, 10 1/4 area is going to be so important today. Let's going down to the 5-minute. And you can see that we do have the start of a trend starting. We've got a bit of a technical gap. You know, we came down and closed it, but then we went right back up and popped, and that was basically the news wiggle. You know, the test of this is 11 1/4 area, but again, it's a 10.50. You can see on the 20 we're down at that 10.75, which keeps showing up. But overall, we're getting a start of a little bit of a trend on the 5-minute coming into the RTH session. So let's take a look at the big picture composite. I'll just I'll walk you through this for those that are new. This is a microcomposite that I've been tracking from February the 21st. With the value area high at 1879 1/4, and the value area low at 1840 1/4, and the microcomposite VPOC at 1865. And actually, it's shifted to 1865.50 with the composite VPOC. The black outline profile is the composite, which is taking us back to October the 9th, 2013, although we've only been up in this area since February. But the value area we broke out of, okay, and broke out of the range of the smaller microcomposite, the four-day microcomposite, where we accepted values slightly higher. Went up and tested that 1890 1/4. That was the 3-day microcomposite that where we tried to hold value in around 1890 1/4. I think this area is going to get tested again. Our value area high for that area is 1894.75. We still have a naked close here at 1897, and then we broke out on Friday, and then the last 3 days we gapped up, and then we found balance up here in around what is now the 2-day microcomposite VPOC at 1908. You can see we had that doji day yesterday that created the neutral day, and then you've got the this 1910.50, which is a CLVN that is just below that 1075. This is where you want to see us hold if you want to be long. If we get below that, I think we'll see a strong move down to the 950 value area high and the naked close from yesterday, and the CHVN, with 1908 pulling us down as the magnet for looking for responsive buyers down here. And then you've got a little bit of CLVN at 9 1/4 with 906.75, and our VPOC yesterday, I believe it was right down there in around the 750 area. And then the number I'm watching, the key line in the sand below us right now, is this 1903 1/4. Below 1903 1/4, we've got no volume. It's unauctioned territory. So if we break that, we're likely to come down here and fill this this gap in, and come down and try to take out this naked close and test the range high from the larger microcomposite balance area that we were in. So let's take a look at what that looks like on the daily, and move our numbers over from our Globex. So we just went in and put a new high in at 12 and a quarter overnight high. So that's one tick below the range high from yesterday at 1250. We have a low in the Globex so far at, let's see what that number is, 1908. Whoops. Overnight low 1908, which is basically just above the naked VPOC from yesterday at 775. And then our current VPOC, I don't think we're going to see a change in the VPOC, so our current Globex VPOC is 10 and a quarter. Look at that 10 and a quarter number again. All right, so let's just take a look at what this looks like. So right now we're trading in range and just outside of value. Value area high is 1075. So we're going to likely, if we open up in this 11 to 12 area, we're likely going to open up outside of value. So the key line in the sand for me off the open is going to be this 1075, but I've got the this CLVN at 1050. So I'm actually going to use 1050 as my trade area. I want to make sure we get below that 1050 and get inside of value. So as we come down here, if we open above it, I'm watching this area like a hawk and seeing how they print this area. If the buyers step in, I will take a long off of this level into take out the overnight high and test the range high at 1250 with my first target above us at this 1914, which is the all-time high. So that's my first target, and I want to get in. I want to get funded before the breakout of 1250 off of the, I'll probably look to get long in around 11 and a quarter, 1150 as I see that the buying is holding, and then get in and get funded, by this 1250, the takeout of the overnight high. Remember, we have a 96% probability of taking out the overnight high or the overnight low. As long as we stay outside of value, that probability shifts to take out the overnight high. Now, if we open inside of this 1250 and we don't go down and test the value area high and find buyers there, then I'll look to take the breakout of the 1250 for a push through to 14. So it's going to be a very tight area in here, but we're going to be diligent on watching how they're printing and make sure that we're getting a clear break either way. Now, if we do break above this and we go up to 1914, there's really nothing above us to give us any guidance other than the next area, which will be the 1823.25, which is the ATR target to the upside for the full session right now. And then we've got that 1932 and a quarter, which is the energy point, and it happened to be a target from the other day, which was the ATR target to the upside on the other day. And then we've up above, we've got 1955 energy point as well. But again, there's not a lot of guidance, in terms of volume profile to give us any good indication what's going to happen above. So I don't even pretend to say I even know, and we're just going to, looks like we're going to make a new high here, overnight high. So we'll have to make an adjustment here. I'll let this play out a little bit more up here. I should have told you guys just to, to get long. It looks like they're going to take us out of range and go up and try to hit that 14 on the open. If we do get below the 1050, then I want to get short into taking out the naked close at 950 with a continuation move down to test the overnight low and the naked VPOC at 775 and the value area low at 7 1/4. So my target below is the naked close here at 950, but really the target's down here at the overnight low and the naked VPOC, and I'll be looking for responsive buyers stepping in here at the value area low. Remember, if we get inside of this value area, you got an 80% probability that you're going to travel the distance of the value area and test the low of the value area. Below, the value area, you've got the CHVN at it's actually 650. So it's a really tough trade to try to get in and get funded by the 650. You can, if you're doing an add-on, I would do it that way. I wouldn't enter a trade and try to get funded before that 650. But the range low is this 450, and you can see that we had 450 yesterday low and 350. So what I'll be looking for is I'll be looking for the range in between these two, as an area that I'll be looking for responsive buyers stepping in. So I can't get long until we stay inside of 1904.50, and I can't get short until we break below 1903.50. And below 03.50, I'm looking for a retest of the 1900, and then below that we've got the naked close and the naked VPOC down here at 1897, and I'll just front run that by a couple ticks at 1897.50 just to make sure. And then there really isn't anything here until we get all the way down to 1895, 1894.75. 1894.75 is the value area high, and it's a little bit of a CLVN. So the next area below us is 94.75 is what I'd be using. And below that, you've got the 90.25 microcomposite VPOC from the balance zone that we tried to hold value after making the all-time high at 1898.50, and it's also a naked close at 1890. So I'll be targeting that 90.25 as an area to go down and pick up buyers. I really think that if we get below this zip line area right here where we have no auction, and we get it below the 1900, that we'll get a move down to this 1890.25. But I'll be looking for possible responsive buyers stepping in the 97 and 95 area. Let's just take a quick look and see what we where we made the new high here. Come on. So the new high is 1913. Oh, so we're still back below 1250. So I'm not going to change my hypothesis in terms of watching for responsive buyers or a breakout. Just I was hoping that we would have the overnight high to play off of. I don't think it's going to come in as well, because if you break 1250, you have to wait for basically 13.25 to get long, and that's right at the overnight high. So it's going to be a tricky area. Just keep it tight here. If you're going to get long, don't risk a lot. Go down in size, but still look for that target to the 1914. If we come down here and we reject the value area, I think this is going to be a really nice trade if we find responsive buyers here, or if we break through. I think it's going to be a nice trade. So either way, I think 1050 is the number off the open, and with a secondary number with the breakout above 1250 and a takeout of the overnight high. You might want to even take the chance in this circumstance to front run this a little bit If you see strong buying coming in, you might want to get long at the 12.50, 12.25. That's your call. It's going to be the risky play, but you got a high probability of getting to 1913. So if I'm looking at when I get long, I look to scale and fund my trade at 3 ticks from my entry. So that kind of, I have to, if I want to target the 13, then I've got to, I got to be long at no higher than 12.25. But I likely won't take the high risk trade. I'll wait and see the breakout and move to 14 because I think that will be the stronger, push. In terms of if we break below 1907, we've got all our areas down. I think that we're going to have an outside day today, but I still think that we could see a good probability of a neutral or a normal variation. Regardless, I think it's going to be a rotational day versus a continuation to the upside and any type of vertical development to the upside. What do we got? 1920. Let me just go through the Russell real quick. Again, I hate rushing in the morning. Sometimes there's just a lot to cover. All right, so far our overnight high is at 39.20. Our overnight low 1134.70. Our overnight VPOC is 1137. Okay, and then we've got our value area high at 38 and a value area low at 33.40. All right, looking at the Globex is, sorry, not the Globex, the composite. We're in this balance zone for the last 2 days with the microcomposite VPOC at 35.40. You've got a big magnet here at 39.90 to 40.25. That's the value area high. You've got the naked VPOC from the prior day at 39.90, and then you have a naked close at 41. So you've got a lot going on in this area, and it looks like we're going to make another Globex high here again. I hate when they do this where they're testing new highs in the Globex as I'm talking. But the key number above us is going to be this 42.30. A break above that takes us to the big target. There's 2 targets above, 43.60 and 46. 46 is the the big target in that former microcomposite VPOC from the last time we were up in this triple distribution zone up here. So I'm watching this 42. If we break the 42.30, then I'm looking to get long into this 46. But right now we're trading just at the range high, and again we keep making a new Globex high. I'll just keep moving this up as I'm talking. But we're likely to open up just outside of range or just at the top of the range. So you want to look for initiative buyers stepping in here and taking us up to take out that naked close at 1141.10. I think 39.90 is a foregone conclusion. In fact, if you want to get long here, I'd get long here into 39.90 to take out this. I don't think that they came within 3 ticks of it yesterday. We're trading right there. I think they're going to push this on the open and take out the 90 and possibly get to this 1141.10. Inside of the range, if we break back inside of range, there is a CLVN here at, what is it, 38.90, I believe it was. 38.70. So 38.70 would be an area that I would use to get short on. I won't use it to get long, but I'll use it to get short, and with a target to come down and test the value area high from yesterday. And then I'm at this point in time below that CLVN. Let me mark that on the chart so it's marked. If we get below that, I might have the wrong. Is it? It's 38.50. You know what? It's too close. I thought it was a little bit further out. So I'm going to use the value area then. What we'll do is we'll take the break inside of the range, and we'll get short below 39 into testing the 38. 38. So we'll target 38.50 with a possible push to 38, the value area high. But I'm really, once we're inside of range, I'm looking for a neutral day, so I'm looking for rotation, and my target inside, my main target inside of range and value is going to be the naked close here at 1135.80. With a continuation down to the VPOC and a takeout of the overnight low. The big number below that, okay, is the 3140, which is what my key line in the sand was. Remember, that was our upper line for the breakout as well. But I've got 3340, which is right there at the value area high. So this is going to be a target and trade area. Remember, trade areas are targets if you're already in a trade, and we use them to scale and then do possible adds. But below 3350, I think that we're going to come down and test this 3140 CLVN, and that's going to be, and it's right below a prior range. And a break below that, I think, you've got the range low at 1130, but I'm really watching this 1129.60 as my target. So I'll be looking at 29.60. And if you want, you could take the add to below 1130.20 into that 29.60. Oh, come on. Lately, my buttons have just not liked me. So I'll go put a trade area here. And then the big target below that 3140, you've got this 2480 area. It's 24 to 2480 as your main target, but the big target below is the composite VPOC at 1121.10. I hate when my charts do this. Anyway, it's 1121.10, and then the other side of that balance is that CLVN and that key number we were playing off of, prior at 1117.70. I'm not going to bother doing a gold analysis because I don't think we have. Well, let's just take a quick look at it really quickly.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 minutes to open, Doug.
I know. All right, so we're breaking down in gold. The cup and handle has been invalidated in my mind. I think we're going to see a move down to this 1241. Remember, 1241 was a key area that I was watching in gold prior, and I think now that we're below the 65.10, which was a key level, and broke outside of our balance, that we're going to come down here to see if we can pick up buyers here at 1241. If we get back above 1265, look for rotation up to this 1274.50 area. But weakness is, as we're getting this blow off top in the indices, I think we're going to see this weakness. I was hoping that we'd hold on gold it was a good pattern, but pattern broke down, and that's what happens sometimes with patterns. So right now, I think we're going to see some chop in this area, between 58, 70, possibly test the 65.10. But if we get below this, and we hold below this 55.40, then I think the destination is going to be down into, well, the first one 46.75, but the big one is going to be 12.41. With a big number down here at 26. I don't think we're going to get there. And there's that 37. Remember that 37 area on gold prior. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at in gold, but I'm not really trading gold right now because I'm waiting for the opportunity to get long again. And right now I'm seeing too much weakness, so I can't really even think long at this point in time. All right, so let me just get my trade chart set up here. I am going to stay on this morning. And I don't know, did we make a new high in the last couple of minutes? Let me just check that. No, 13 is still it. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to have a chance to get my chart. So there's 12. Let me get my